What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 66, and we are the Nintendo podcast, a part of the 8-Bit Collective. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is Bryce DeWitt.
Hello.
Hello. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about Skybound taking over from Walking Dead season.
Walking Dead season 4.
Season 4, yeah. I was thinking 3, but now
Twid's 4.
Season 3's already got its way out, so that's all good.
Yeah. It's just not called season 3, just like the last one isn't called season 4.
Yeah. And a new Switch model inbound for next year, and our Super Mario Party impressions.
Yeah, we played an hour.
But first, Bryce, I haven't seen you for a week, mate. How you been?
Yeah, started a new job this week, so sort of picking up the ropes on that, and you know, just monetarily and mentally preparing for PAX.
Yep,
doing all that stuff because I've got to go away this week. So that's after I get back. I think it's 10 days, and then we're headed off to Melbourne again.
When you go back, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have to mentally prepare for PAX? What's all that about?
No, just it's been a long time since I've been inside Melbourne, so it's going to be a bit of an experience for me. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, the country bumpkin going to big old Melbourne.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of Melbourne, but
ooh,
that's my hot take on that. Yeah.
Obviously,
doesn't need to be any more than that.
And video game wise, you've been playing a bit of Dragon Ball Z Fighters still.
Yes. So that's the thing I've been playing this week. Obviously, we talked about it earlier on in the week. I finished it today. I finished the 3 story arcs and got all that over and done with. For me, picking it up as a fighting game wasn't too hard. I sort of got myself in a rhythm where I was like constantly learning and like what combos I should be trying to string. I've got to do more before I even bother going into competitive or anything like that. But overall, like I've had a good 20 hours into it and beaten all the story and all that, and unlocked most of the characters. Actually, there's a special event on at the moment that I think it was like the same thing happened with PlayStation and Xbox and PC releases as well. I think where if you earn 300,000 Zenny and 500,000 Zenny, you would respectively get Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. So I managed to crack out all 500,000 Zenny as well. So I've got the 2 unlockable characters that are in the game. The only thing I've got left is DLC characters. And I think there's only one more of them yet to come, but the rest of them are out on the eShop. So if I ever decide to like dip into it further, I can go ahead and buy the season pass or whatever. But overall, the Switch port is a really good port. It's pretty much 1-to-1. Since then, I've also put my hands on the PC version a little bit as well.
Did you buy that as well, or
no, I didn't buy it. No, Steam Share.
Oh yeah.
Steam Share, best way to do it, I guess. I guess 1-to-1, except you've got handheld. I've actually been using the Joy-Cons for most of it. As crappy as we make out that D-pad to be, it's almost perfect for that game.
Is it really?
Yeah, yeah. I would. It could just be the launch model D-pad on the Pro controller, but it's not. It's not fantastic.
No.
And individual button presses, especially since I've got a really big thumb, I can layer 2 buttons at the same time with just the one thumb. It's not bad at all. I don't have to like tilt the D-pad whole in one direction to hit 2 buttons.
Yeah.
It's been comfortable for me to just use the Joy-Cons. I played the entire thing except for maybe an hour in handheld. I really want to get into the online portion, but I haven't bought Switch Online yet. For obvious reasons.
Yeah, I've actually gone and got the family pass, so
You actually have?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the email for the codes.
Cool.
That's why I haven't seen anything yet. But
Okay, all good.
So you'll get one when
the codes come in.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Then I'll have to split that bill with you when I can.
Yeah.
So obviously the rest of the codes we'll give out in the Discord or whatever we decide to do with it, and I'm sure you'll hear about it at a later date. Best way to...
Yeah, Jamie's already snagged one. He sent me a message.
Oh, cheeky lad. So just keep that in mind. If you haven't gone and bought the online service already, we'll be giving away some passes in the Discord as a thank you to the listeners. So if you're not in the Discord, you should join the Discord and jump in. I'm not sure if it's relegated by region. That's the only.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but yeah, probably the best way if you're after to be a part of our family plan, just either jump into the Discord, which is in the show notes, or go on Twitter and just direct message me.
Actually,
probably an easier way as well.
Just while I was speaking of the online service, actually, I'm a bit confused how it works. Have you tried to go online with Splatoon or anything without it?
Yeah, I did.
What happens on Splatoon?
It just comes up with a message saying that you need the online pass and that this is where you can go and buy it.
See, I didn't have that problem at all with Dragon Ball FighterZ. I can access literally everything, but when I try to find a match, I just can't find one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I guess it just doesn't give me the error message.
Yeah, it comes up with like a notice. I tried to do the Dark Souls beta.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was still going or not, but it was still on my Switch. I never got around to it, so I went into it, and it came up with that message just trying to go into the servers for the Dark Souls beta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm not sure then. I'm not too sure. Could be a connection issue then. It's really hard to tell without actually having the service. Because I can view replays and everything. I can view like top player replays and stuff like that, and they're really interesting to watch. Actually, it's a good way to learn. So I'm not 100% sure. I guess I can see everybody in an online lobby. Can you still see people in Splatoon in the online lobby? Without it, do you remember?
Do you mean just like in the?
Yeah,
you can still see people, their messages and that. Yeah.
Then maybe it is locked behind it, and it just doesn't have the error message inside the actual.
It's probably until you actually try and like play an actual.
Oh,
match.
I did. But it searched for a match and I couldn't find anyone, so I don't know whether it just
because everyone's
yeah. So
there has been a couple of times in Mario Kart where it just couldn't find people in Splatoon 2 as well when it couldn't just find people.
Right.
I don't know if that's because my time of the day I was playing, which was yesterday on the weekend. It shouldn't have been a problem, but I don't know if this is I don't know how much of a drop off Nintendo's seen with people on their servers because of this.
Yeah, see, I'm curious about that myself. Like, I see people running around in Dragon Ball FighterZ because obviously you saw it. There's a lobby system.
Yeah.
So when you're in that online lobby, it's the same thing as Splatoon. People pop up, except they can actively move around and they
I played the beta for it.
Yeah, they chat with each other and all that stuff. Yeah. So you know how that works. Like that works. It works exactly the same. Still, it's just when I queue up for a match, like. I've had it queued for like 15 minutes at a time and can't find anyone, and I'm not sure whether that's a restriction of the online service stopping me from doing that, or, I honestly don't know whether it was an afterthought thing where they're kind of just like, well, we were supposed to add this in, but we're shipping the game now because it come out so late. I guess. I don't know. I suppose when you send me off that code, I'll be able to try and figure it out, but that's all I can do until then, is run around and spam emotes. Otherwise, I'll probably just be practicing. Overall, probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's a really solid fighting game. Really easy to get into. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, I think it's a pretty obvious pickup.
So what did you think of the story in the end?
The story?
Was it serviceable, or do you really enjoy it?
Well, I mean, it's an offshoot done by Toriyama, and because Toriyama's ahead in it, it's pretty much canon. That's what most Dragon Ball fans define as canon. So he didn't have a hand in making GT. GT was a complete cash off, and he doesn't treat it as canon, which it no longer is, because it doesn't fit in a timeline sense thanks to Dragon Ball Super. I think the story was pretty alright. The 3 arcs is just 3 different viewpoints. So you've got the hero's viewpoint, the villain's viewpoint, and the android's viewpoint. It mixes up the story a little depending which route you go, because the start changes. Instead of your soul being linked to Goku, your soul gets linked to Frieza, or your soul gets linked to Android 18.
Yeah.
And then that's where it goes from there. overall, it's a really short and really shallow story, but like I was a real big fan of the Android Saga in Dragon Ball Z. 18, 17 doing their thing, Future Trunks coming down and, warning Goku having his heart attack, and then that moves into the Cell Saga. And because I'm a fan of that and the androids in general, I quite enjoyed it myself. I'm not sure if it's for everyone if you're looking for a whole new slice of Dragon Ball content, but it's because like the game is made by Arc System. So if you know anything about Arc System, BlazBlue, even more recently BlazBlue Cross Tag, they're really solid fighting games and they know how to do it correctly. They've got their replay system down pat. You can view replays and people can place stickers on the timeline sort of thing to like interact with it. You can hit a button and it shows you the exact things those players are doing at the time on their control sticks and buttons.
Okay.
So it's like real-time tracking.
That's cool.
So you get to learn like a couple of neat combos if you watch it correctly and stuff, which is really cool. And yeah, overall, the only thing I haven't done, I guess, is probably just the combo challenges and the hard modes of the arcade. But other than that, yeah, I've plowed through it. I'm ready to sort of put my hand in competitive fighting, and
Look out.
I'm excited to.
Bryce is putting his hand in the ring, ladies and gentlemen.
Because the difference between BlazBlue and something like Dragon Ball FighterZ or Cross Tag, which I treat them as completely separate entities, even if Cross Tag has the BlazBlue name on it. BlazBlue is a lot more complicated. There's a lot more micromanagement, a lot more stick tuning and stuff like that. It's a fighter that kind of requires a pad. But I don't feel that way about Dragon Ball FighterZ, nor do I feel that way about Cross Tag. The controls are a lot more simplified, and it's more about how you manage the moves rather than execute them. If that makes sense, like you've got to juggle a lot more often and stuff like that, and switching is pretty important. Using your supers at the right time, knowing what every character's super does, it's pretty important. It's pretty well popularly played. There's actually a tournament going on in Australia for the Oceania region. It's sponsored by Bandai.
You going to enter?
Huh?
You going to enter?
Oh fuck no. I will never beat some of those people that I've watched on replays. But
not with that attitude. Come on.
Well, shut up. But like I think the tournament's held in Melbourne or something like that, and the grand prize is $5,000 for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good couple rounds of Dragon Ball FighterZ. So. I hope that the game keeps servicing the way it does, because it's honestly a really good fighting game. It's not like Smash Bros, where annually we're just super hyped up. It's one of those things that will probably only ever come around once, and I really enjoy the game, and having it portably is so great. I can just go anywhere with it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Switch ports on par with everything else, and yeah, overall just good game. Yeah, good game.
Since I've renewed my subscription, I've been playing some NES games, mainly Mario Bros 3. I was playing through this on the weekend. On Saturday I was tired. I wasn't really in the mood for something big, something big on the PlayStation, or really starting anything on Switch. I've got plenty of games I need to get to on Switch, but yeah, I just couldn't be bothered, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
So I went to Mario Bros 3 and I just started playing that just because it's comfort food.
Yeah, exactly.
Familiar with it.
Yeah, it's Mario Bros 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think I got to World 4. No, not 4. 6 or something?
6, okay. Yeah.
I wasn't doing any shortcuts or anything. I just wanted to go through each world slowly and
fair enough.
See what's going on.
Didn't take the Win Fife and go to World 7 immediately?
No.
Why not, Drew?
It's just such, I don't have to say too much about this game, but such a good game. I love it so much. It's just so...
Oh, Mario Bros. 2 is great.
Yeah,
I'll never understand how some people place it over World, though. I much prefer World to 3. Could just be me. I think World's got a hell of a lot of charm and, access to Yoshi and all that. And Star World was blew my mind when I was younger and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, did me too.
Yeah. So, it was just a mind thought there, I guess. Every time I hear about Mario Bros 3, I can't say that Mario Bros 3 is a bad game or anything. Like, it's definitely an amazing game.
Well, Mario World's definitely an evolution of Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think some people just might prefer the simplicity, or maybe just the way Mario Bros. 3 handles overworld.
Maybe.
Because Mario World's a fair bit not floatier, but it's it does feel different.
It definitely is different. But I maybe the haunted houses and stuff like that they added in. I know that haunted houses can be a pain in the ass sometimes, or whatever. Then you've got Star Worlds, and there's the optional Koopaling. I just think there's a lot of charm to that game in general. Except for the fact that what was it last year? They figured out that glitch that you could beat Mario World, and I think it was like 46 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
46 seconds.
Yep. Requires one execution of a glitch on the first level.
See, all these and
it's so very specific, I wouldn't bother trying it.
all the speedruns, it's like, how the hell do you finish it that quick? And you see, oh, there you go.
Well, it's just like, I think the glitch is like something along the lines of, you have to hatch Yoshi, affix the camera a certain direction, jump on Yoshi, run, pick up a fruit, swallow, grab a red Koopa, fire a fireball so it kills something at a very specific time, eat the coin at a very specific time, and then it rolls the credits. Just out of nowhere, the screen just goes black and then it rolls the credits. It's really weird. It's really strange.
Yeah, like I played World before I played Mario Bros. 3 as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
See, I played 3 before I played World, so I'm in the opposite direction. And I think World was just a better game.
Yeah.
3 is definitely a great game. 3 had basically a movie made about the damn thing, which was The Wizard, if you've ever seen The Wizard.
I haven't actually seen it. I do want to watch it, though.
It's interesting. It's just about... I think the kid is autistic or something.
Go and Pirate Bay it for me.
Jesus. I don't know if I could go that far. I don't think anybody would be seeding that movie anymore. But it's about 3 kids in an orphanage, and one of them is young, and I think he's autistic, but he's really good at original Mario Bros. Games.
Just a big ad for Mario Bros. 3, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it pretty much is. Yeah, they go to a convention and there's a Mario 3 competition, and this autistic kid goes up against 2 other players and he kicks their asses. So it's a really cool movie, actually. It was sort of like I loved it as a kid simply because of the aesthetic. It was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Playing video games competitively.
Yeah, I just heard about it. I haven't actually watched it. I would like to watch it. It does sound pretty cool.
Movie.
We should do an episode. I wish you'd sit down and watch it together, do an episode.
Yeah.
Talking about it. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, that movie used to be on TV. Like, that's how...
Yeah, never saw it on TV.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Was it on TV here in Australia?
Yeah, shit, yeah.
I guess you wouldn't know if it was on TV in America. So.
Well, no, yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
No, it would show up on TV from time to time. I think maybe 2 years in a row or something like that when I went to my grandparents over near Port Lincoln. It showed up on TV twice, and I watched it there, and I also watched it on video.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah. No, I really like that movie. It's very basic, but good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, just back to these NES games. I am really enjoying sort of this app, which is just full of games you can really easily jump between. Every time I load it up, though, I just wish there were Super Nintendo games there, and 64 games there, and like a bit more than just what there is. But it did take me by surprise, though, how much I actually enjoy having the NES games. Just
it's handy
easily jumping between them both, and keen to play some more multiplayer with you too eventually. Yeah,
true. Yeah, actually, while we're on the final subject of playing things this week, there was one more thing I did.
What'd you do?
I did some digging because earlier this year a Ocarina of Time randomizer came out.
Okay. So,
like the very popular Link to the Past randomizer, it randomizes where every single item that you could possibly have on Link is in the game. The randomizer has a bunch of options or whatever. So I gave it a crack, and some hilarity ensues. I tried a couple seeds, and I actually played one last night. The first one I played was 3 hours, and I got a bow in the first chest I opened. But on the other side of that, there's also the bad seeds. Last night, I was around at a friend's house, and I was like, got to try this randomizer. It's fun, I was trying to give off a good vibe about it. I think he's playing it today, so that's shows that this wasn't a completely bad experience. But what we did is we sat down. We had 3 people there. We decided 3 numbers each and put them in a particular order. I was just like, I called out one number, and we went on until we had 9 numbers. And we got the worst seed imaginable. It was awful. I think just about every chest we opened was either a piece of heart or a rupee. It took us ages to find. I think we got a slingshot early on. And
this sounds like it could be just break that easily.
Oh, no. It's actually really... The randomizer is really damn good, actually. So, one of the options in there, for example, is you can open up the Door of Time. So you don't need to go collect the spiritual stones, but you might still have to go back to those dungeons.
Yeah.
For something. So basically what happens is that you can split it up if you want so that only the child items are randomized and the adult ones are randomized. Or you can blow that Door of Time open and randomize everything across both timelines.
Jesus.
So you can find a slingshot in the middle of the Spirit Temple or something like that. And I like doing it that way because it means that I can go to Adult Link and then mess around with things as Adult Link as well as go back if I find something useful in Adult Link timeline. It's true random, which is really fun. But it makes sure that you are able to beat the game without glitches unless you allow it to. So if you're like... there's an option there that says something along the lines of ensures that you can beat the game but does not ensure the items are within reach. So that means generally that if the randomizer knows that there's a glitch spot and you can get up there using glitches, then it will put an item in that chest. So if you know your way around Ocarina of Time really well, you know how to do the super slide, the bomb jumps, all that stuff. You can randomize it so you can do that. Or you could just be a basic bitch like me and turn that off because I'm not... I love Ocarina of Time and played it so many times, but I'm not that in tune with the glitches. But it's definitely a really weird way to experience a Zelda game. Just imagine like a Link Between Worlds, but instead of renting from Ravio, those items were just in random places.
Yeah. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool.
I really like doing like the Pokemon randomizers.
Mm-hmm.
Playing these games you've played a million times and you're really familiar with, but putting like a random twist on all, I think it's really fun.
It is, yeah.
It's like with Pokemon, you can make Pokemon have different like random moves, like random abilities, like just random everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make it random to the point where the sprite doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
because you might a Pikachu might come up, but it might be a fire type with surf and no whatever. Like it doesn't make a difference what the actual Pokemon is.
No, yeah, exactly.
So I like turning it back a little bit. So the Pokemon is still what it is meant to be, but it's just a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Just changing its ability and maybe different attacks or something. But yeah, no, it sounds pretty cool. I've never heard of a randomizer for
a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was Link to the Past. So
does it work better for a Link to the Past? Do you reckon? Or
probably the world's more suited for it.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that there was a Majora's Mask randomizer before there was a proper Ocarina of Time one.
Oh, God.
And that would be hell.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that.
No.
I'm never doing a Majora's Mask randomizer. But I don't know if you've ever heard, while we're on the subject though, that there's a dual ROM randomizer.
Dual ROM, that? What's this?
Super Metroid and Link to the Past, stick them together in one ROM. Right? And you randomize the items, and you might find some Zelda items in Super Metroid.
The hell?
And you pick them up in there, and then they go to Link to the Past, and then you can switch back to Link to the Past and keep progressing. Or you might find Super Metroid items in Link to the Past, and you can go back to Super Metroid with the press of like 2 buttons to like simultaneously to switch the games. That is a thing.
The hell?
That is a thing. So you can find you could be just like trolling around in Super Metroid, and you're like, oh, hey, look, there's the bow. This is the icon of the Link to the Past bow. What the fuck? So it just shows like the engine they used for the Super Nintendo games must have been like much similarly enough that something like that could could come into play.
Yeah, like, especially if the blending them together like that. Yeah,
It's really interesting to watch, actually. I've mentioned the completionist a couple times on this show. He has a gameplay channel with his friend Alex called Super Beard Bros. They did it on there.
Okay, yep.
So that was a really interesting watch. Just watch it. I only watched the first 2 or 3 episodes because at the time, I haven't gone back to watch it yet, but at the time, that's all they had. But it was super interesting to watch, actually. Just watching them jump between 2 completely different games with the press of a button. And I actually think they got a custom... I think they might have got a custom ROM cart for it. So they're actually playing it on the Super Nintendo. I could be wrong, but...
Sounds pretty hard to actually pull off on an actual Super Nintendo, but...
Well... It depends. If you're using Retron or something like that, it wouldn't be too hard. Like, just messing with the Ocarina of Time ROM in general that I've had to get the randomizer working, it's taught me a lot about how those games work. Like, you can completely unpack... You have to completely unpack the Legend of Zelda ROM, basically. I mean, the thing does it for you, but it completely unpacks it, and then you've got to recompress it to get it working again. So what it does is it unpacks it, mixes around all the code, and then you can recompress it again, so it just smacks back into like a malleable form that you can just sort of play on a emulator.
Have you given this a go?
Which one?
Like
the Link to the Past.
Yeah, the Link to the Past and the Super Metroid.
I have not. I want to try it, though.
You should give it a try, yeah.
I want to give it a try. But I actually want to complete a run of Zelda first before I get around to doing any more randomizers.
Yeah, fair enough,
yeah. We got pretty far in the one that we had last night, even though the start was awfully shit. But I managed to get the 2 most important songs in the game and Bomb Choose. I also beat Goma, so... I was on a set path to being like, I can get into a lot of places now, and I can just open chests and hopefully get something good out of it. But it froze. So, rest in peace, that run. I was just like, I saved.
That
but
is
it was
the
before.
worst.
I was like, it's saved, but it was before Goma, and I can't be bothered doing Goma again, so I gave up. We were at it for about 3 hours.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It was really interesting, though. No, it's really interesting. It's just like... In Ocarina of Time, there's you walk out of Link's house, and with the randomizer, it cuts out all the cutscenes and stuff because the game reacts weird when it gives you an item you're not supposed to have in a cutscene.
Yeah.
So it removes all the cutscenes and it just gives you the item or whatever. So you get like some hilarious things, like where you walk out the first tunnel after the Deku Tree and Sari is there and she's like, I want to give you my ocarina. But like, instead of having that cutscene there, because that cutscene's no longer there, all you get is Link runs across a bridge and you get an ocarina. Just like, bye bitch, thanks for the ocarina.
Thanks.
Bye. There's a house with 4 chests in Kakariko Village. You jump out there, you go straight to that house, and those 4 chests could either be amazing or your absolute downfall. My worst experience with it so far was I hit 1 chest, got a blue rupee. Hit another chest, hook shot. Yeah, hook shot. That's great, right? You think, great, that's awesome.
And then you know what to use it though.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. And then I went over to the next chest, and it gave me the long shot.
Oh.
I was just like, so why did you bother giving me the hook shot if the long shot was right next to it? And then I opened the other chest, and I got frozen by a freezy chest.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I've only got the long shot. So, yeah, and then I moved forward a little bit with that ROM. Got to Dodongo's Cavern, had Bomb Choose, the bow and arrow at some point. Yeah, I never ended up finishing that seed because I was just like, you know what, this is great, but I need to go get ready for work tomorrow and all that stuff. And I wasn't going to save it and come back to it. I feel like it's... The thing with randomizers, I feel like it's one thing where you've got to dedicate a little bit of time to sit down and just do a run.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you forget where you've been.
So you're just treating it like I'm treating Dead Cells pretty much.
Yeah.
Just do it like a random run, see how far you get. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's it. Well, because if you save and you move on, you're going to forget where you've been and you're going to be backtracking a lot to see where you've been. Not a lot of point.
Mm.
Whereas in a normal run of Ocarina of Time, you know what dungeons you've beaten, you know what items you've collected from those dungeons, so there's no reason to go back to them. All that stuff, you know. So, I'll probably sit down and have a good run of one when I can, if I can find decent enough seed that's not going to screw me over in the first.
I do like the sound of this for like obviously not exactly like this, but sort of implement like a random element in the next like maybe 2D Zelda game, similar to what Link Between Worlds did. I really liked it how you can sort of choose what items and what dungeons you want to tackle in order.
Yeah. I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I'd love to see something like that hop up, but I don't know how they would handle it.
Maybe not literally, every chest is random and stuff like that, but
yeah, maybe give you maybe make it so that like you go to a dungeon, you open the item chest, they'll have a specific item chest or something like that in the dungeon, you'll get a random item, and then you're just like, well, I can't beat this one. So you'll move on to the next dungeon, pick up the item from that chest. If it's the chest corresponding to it, then, cool or whatever, and then you just move on. I don't know how much randomization you could put into a Zelda game before it gets annoying.
Yeah, that's right.
In Ocarina of Time, if you know your nooks and crannies really well, it's absolutely fine. It's a really unique way to play Ocarina of Time again and just be like, hey, I lost myself. A unique way to be like, I want to play this game again, but I don't want to feel like I'm rushing through it because I know this game in the back of my hand for, I've known it for years. I reckon I could go back to Ocarina of Time and I reckon I could finish it in 3-4 hours. I don't think it'd be way too hard. I'm no glitch aficionado or anything like that, but that game's not very long.
But you are a good hacker.
Hacker man.
Hackman, yeah.
Hacker man. But yeah, that's the other thing I've been playing this week, I guess.
That sounds really cool. I haven't heard of those before.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've obviously brought up the Pokemon ones, stuff like that, for Game Boy Advance games, but yeah.
I've watched a whole run of a Majora's Mask one, and I'm telling you.
Do they just do up to 64? Don't do Wind Waker and...
Actually, I think there is a Wind Waker randomizer now that you mention it.
GameCube emulation is pretty prominent, so...
It is very prominent. It's like one of the most popular emulation communities. So, because those games get broken right open. Like, they added net play to Super Smash Bros. Melee. And
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So cool.
So, just thinking of it from that perspective, I actually do think there's a Wind Waker randomizer, but the thing is I'd only ever heard about the Link to the Past one until the OOT one popped up recently. If you're interested in doing a randomizer, there is actually a OOT randomizer Discord that gives you all the necessary things you need to start.
Is that where you got yours from? Your stuff?
Yes. Yeah. It gives you a really, really neat emulator that works perfectly with a randomized ROM and all that stuff, and perfect because the typical emulator, Project 64, which is what most people know for Nintendo 64 emulators.
Yeah, yep.
It does not like those ROMs at all. No, it crashes half the time and does really weird things and doesn't really work. But
okay,
yeah, if you look in the right places, you can find yourself a really decent emulator. I mean, they give you the optimal one in the Discord. They also have the Zelda ROM, the specific Zelda ROM you'll need for it. They'll give you a link to the patch or all that stuff. So yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I might give it a try one day.
You need to actually finish Ocarina of Time normally first.
Yeah.
It's not that long of a Zelda game.
Fucking stuck in the water temple, dude.
The water temple's a piece of shit, but if you use a guide and even if you've just lost yourself, just use a guide and then follow the steps of the guide and then just get yourself through that hook shot. Or use a glitch to get over to the boss door once you've got the boss key. That's also an option. And they're not, like, some of those aren't even hard. It's just like, hey, look, you put down a bomb and you hold shield and backflip at the right time and you backflip a really long way. It's not, yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about The Walking Dead final season being cancelled a couple of weeks ago. As of today, Skybound has come out, and this is what they've said on Twitter. We're so happy to announce that we've reached a deal with Telltale Games to allow Skybound to continue The Walking Dead the final season. Let's wrap up Clem's story right. More details to come soon.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that. I don't know how Telltale were like, we can't... How they started a season of something of such importance as The Walking Dead, and then just nah, we're gonna do Minecraft story mode with the skeleton crew. Not gonna fulfill the people who actually paid
Yeah.
for this season.
So this is from Greg Miller. This is a statement he got from the game studio. They said, "Hi there. At New York Comic Con, Robert Kirkman confirmed that Skybound has taken ownership of Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, and will finish the season. Skybound will work with the members of the original Telltale team to finish the story in a way that the fans deserve." So it sounds like the original team is coming back. It's not just them picking it up. Hopefully this means they'll get their severance, get wages, make a living so they can pay their rent and all that stuff.
Well, I bloody well hope so.
Yeah. Because if that's not the case, if they're just making the game and the workers still aren't getting anything from it, I don't feel like I'll care that much.
No, well, they deserve. I feel so sorry for the workers, and it pisses me off a lot. And I'm glad that companies like Ubisoft reached out to them. Just thinking of it from the perspective of these people are now. Some of them are still without jobs and all that, and some of that crew is probably The Walking Dead, obviously. Knowing that another company is going to work with them, and hopefully they'll have some sort of stability at least for the next 6 months. Then it gives them time to do what they need to do. So I'm glad that they've picked it up, and hopefully we'll see a good end to Clem's story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's needed. Like that game, like that series is going to end, but it's also going to end correctly. So I don't want any devising from the original plot. I want them to keep the original story, and hope that everybody gets the ending they deserve. Anybody that cared about that series.
Yeah. I feel like with The Walking Dead Season 1, I really enjoyed it, but I fell off just through Telltale's sort of... Like, with Season 3, they just made it like new characters. They kept introducing new characters instead of just sticking with Clementine.
Season 2, it was acceptable.
Yeah, but
Season 3 wasn't really.
I didn't even play Season 2. I wasn't even interested.
Well, no, because Season 2... minor spoiler alert, but Season 2 has Clem and Kenny involved.
Yeah. Whether
you know that or not is, obviously subjective.
Kenny from South Park, if you don't know.
Anyway, I still think that there's plenty of... it's not the complete original cast, but there is members there. I don't know if you've watched anything in Season 4, but...
no.
There is somebody in there from Season 1 that you'll never know.
Clementine.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just think that Season 3 was such a massive disconnect because the only two relatable characters were Clementine and a baby.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't know who that baby is, then it doesn't really matter to you. I don't own Season 2, but after Telltale went blammo, I was like, well, I'm not investing money in these games ever again, so I caught up on Season 2 and watched through a playthrough of that.
Yeah, now Season 2 was pretty decent, but yeah,
it's good. It's just I understand because I played the first season and I grew so attached to most of those characters, but I feel like Season 2 is setting it set the path for the next two games after it in quite a big way because it's in relation to AJ.
Yeah. So
AJ is an important plot device halfway through 2 onwards because Clementine has to take care of him.
The roles reversed and she's now the
she's
adult.
Yeah, she's slowly becoming Lee in that respective. So that's great and everything, but Season 3 was introducing literally pretty much brand new head characters.
I feel like they were just trying to fill it out at that point.
Yeah.
And obviously now they're at the point they are like, all right, let's finish it.
Yep. Listen, you could completely skip Season 3 and you wouldn't see any difference, really.
No.
It's such a filler season, it hurts. It's really not that good. But season 1, season 2, because it still ends with Clementine and AJ, you know, it does that's fine in season 2. But in season 3, it's basically like, hey, I'm going to throw this ball, and it basically just does a loop-the-loop and hit you in the back. That's exactly what it does. Like, there's almost no importance at all to what's happening with Clementine. It just adds more to a backlog of, man, I had a fucking bad day. You know? So, you know, let's just treat season 4 as season 3. So if you played season 2 and you enjoyed season 2, then play season 4, ignore season 3. Season 3 is really not.
I'll definitely recommend, if you haven't played season 1, it's still on the eShop at the moment.
It'll probably stay there.
Yeah, there's no reason to pull that down because it's a full product, but definitely go and get that, because that is like a story game I think everyone should play.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And I see season 2 of Batman has dropped onto the eShop as well.
Yeah.
And I had a big problem with the first season because they're asking $63 for it.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. Like they're asking $30 $30 was it 35 or 33, whatever it is, for season 4 of The Walking Dead. So the brand new game. I know it's only 4 episodes instead of 5, but whatever. They're asking $30-something for not the same price for the Walking Dead season 1, which is fair enough. They put the effort to port it to Switch and whatever, so it's not going to be $10 like it might have been on PlayStation here and there. But don't know why they're charging so much for the Batman game. $63.
Licensing, maybe,
but
it shouldn't be that expensive still. But
on PlayStation and that, it launched at maybe 40 at most, 30 something.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
So I don't know. It's over $20 more on Switch.
I just don't, like, okay, I like myself a decent Batman story, but I'm not sure if I give a shit about a Telltale one.
Season 1 of Batman was really good. It was excellent. But I don't see why it's jacked up on Switch. That's not really an excuse for that.
Yeah. Well, my garb is that I'm not sure Batman's story without any of the additional bits completely enthralls me, but that's coming from somebody that played the Arkham games.
The extra bits? What do you mean?
I mean like the fighting and all that shit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I played the Arkham games. The Arkham games were so well received until after the second one.
Arkham Knight, yeah.
Arkham Knight, and that's where it fell off the hood because of the absolutely terrible launch. It looked like to be... The problem is like, after Arkham Asylum, we saw Arkham City, and we're like, oh my god! And then it come to Arkham Knight, we're like, this looks dope! And then it was awful. But Arkham City is a brilliant game.
So, in your Batman game, you want to be beating people up and doing this cool stuff.
It feels like it's got more impact if you're beating people up. I'm like, that's just the way it is. It's Batman.
Telltale did a really good job though, because
but Telltale games, because of the way they are, and it was the same with Wolf Among Us, they feel political in that regard. I don't see Batman as a political type of thing. I see him as the person that's out there stopping these people.
It is though, because you can sort of decide between like handling a situation as being Batman or being Bruce Wayne, and you're doing the point and click detective stuff, and like it was really well done. I would have absolutely no problem recommending these games to Switch owners if they had them at a half reasonable price.
Right, and that's fair, but that's what I mean in that respective as well. Is why the hell would I pay $62?
I don't know why they've jacked it up so much. It really baffles me.
Like, at launch, you know...
Yeah, because last year they brought out Season 1. I'm like, what the hell? Why is it so expensive?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't know.
I'm not buying it.
I'm like, it's year 1 of Switch? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of reasons in my head why it's double the price. But yeah, even last week, Season 2 comes out to double the price as well.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
After seeing that Walking Dead games are, $35. So... Don't know. Yeah. don't buy it for that much.
No, for the love of God, just
Especially with like the technical problems that those games have as well.
Look, I want Tales of the Borderlands actually. Now that I think about it,
On Switch.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Well,
They're not going to be able to now.
No one's going to be there to port it, but
no, but like, I just feel like I want to play that game really bad.
well, you can play it on anything else.
Yeah, but
Other things, yeah.
the Switch.
But the Switch.
The Switch is handy, mate. Look at this tablet here. You're just shaking it, like, yeah.
You're a PC gamer. Go and get it on there. What about your
I
mobile?
don't want to play a Telltale game on my fucking computer. I don't. They're so handy. Like, that's why they released them on goddamn mobile devices, because they're not that intensive. You know, but it's also long enough, like a 3-hour episode. It's also long enough that I don't want to play it on my mobile for that 3 hours.
Yeah, well, they're not 3 hours. They're probably anywhere from about 2 hours.
2 to 3, depending on what you're playing. Depending on what you're playing, and depending on how you go about it.
Go about it slow. It'll take you 3 hours.
But I don't know. The moral of the story is just don't buy Batman for $62.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that Clem's going to get her final down.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If the game comes out, I'll buy it then.
Yeah, for sure. If they release the whole collection on Switch, which
They won't.
they won't, maybe we'll see. We'll see.
They'll still have to port season 2 and 3.
I'd argue they'll probably just skip season 3. But with these guys working on season 4, I would not take it out of the rungs because they have that deal. And I feel like once they actually complete a series, which they haven't really done before, I feel like there has to be a collection for that type of thing.
Yeah, there should be. It just depends on the situation of where they are. Because
Well,
Telltale's obviously not, there to do it anymore. It depends if
they got to make money back somehow to pay their debts.
Yeah,
so even if a different studio is handling it and they're just getting profit off of the IP itself or whatever.
Well, maybe all these people will run out and get Batman for $60 and they'll make it just a fistful of money.
So stupid. I'm
Yeah.
so disappointed in that company. I was so invested in them with like Wolf Among Us and stuff like that, and now I'm never going to see that again.
No, you're not. I remember after playing season 1 of The Walking Dead, and I said, I'm going to follow this studio. Like every game they release, I'm going to go and play it because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
But then they just brought out so much stuff, and so much stuff which wasn't even up to the quality I was hoping for.
No.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. I really like Telltale games. Looking at that game and especially hearing what other people said about it, I'm like, nah, don't even worry about it. Like just the way it was present, like the presentation of the game, it just wasn't up to scratch. Like the technical prowess of it all, and the writing wasn't necessarily there either. I'm like, don't worry about it. Game of Thrones wasn't. I'm not Game of Thrones at all, so you couldn't have got me to buy that game.
I thought Game of Thrones was alright. Jade played Game of Thrones. She actually enjoyed it. All right.
Yeah, it should be Game of Thrones.
She actually didn't finish the last episode though. We never finished the last one.
All right.
But Game of Thrones was. I know that wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but I thought Game of Thrones was okay. It introduced characters that weren't there before, which was a little bit confusing.
Yeah,
but
when they have to though, because people are dying left and right in that series, so you can't do too much.
But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I guess like it felt like a Telltale game. It felt like a Game of Thrones story.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Yeah, and Borderlands obviously really good. I didn't care about Borderlands story wise until the Telltale game. Batman, really like Batman. Yeah,
Borderlands is a really fun game though. I want to play that. I really need to play that actually. Not just I want to. I really need to.
Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah.
You haven't touched it, have you? No.
And I like Borderlands. I'm a big fan of it. I still haven't played the pre-sequel either, but that's because most people are just saying, just don't worry about the pre-sequel.
Yeah, Australian developed. Should support it.
It's a pre-sequel.
It's a pre-sequel.
I was interested enough in it, but it's just kind of like if people tell you after you've played 2 really good Borderlands games, if people tell you that the third one's not that great, then it doesn't really lift your spirits. Just makes you want to go, because it's a game where you can. Borderlands 2 is a game where you can progress. You know, you're always progressing as long as you're killing things and doing whatever. So I'll just play more Borderlands 2, right? Like that's the downfall. The pre-sequel's not any good, then people tell you it's not any good, then it doesn't. Same thing with the Telltale games, eh?
Yeah. So, looking forward to Season 4. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully the workers get their severance and bit of money to keep living.
I'm not sure they'll get their severance, but
no,
here's hoping.
No. They're trying to, trying to sue Telltale, but if they've got literally no money to give, there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah.
So... Bryce, there's rumours going around about a new Switch model coming out late next year. Personally, I'm like, yes, there is a new Switch coming eventually, I dare say. Whether it's next year or 2020 or whatever it is, that doesn't surprise me much at all. I see some people were taken back by it a bit because, you know, they just bought their Switch and they don't want a new one coming out because... it's not nice when new things come out and you've already spent your money on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are a lot of problems a new model could fix for the Switch.
100%,
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about it way too much, but I think it's just like... I think because at this point it's a rumour.
Yeah.
It's a rumour, you know, leak culture here. I just think that... an XL version of the Switch would solve a hell of a lot. It would allow...
literally a bigger Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why do you need a bigger one? It's already big enough.
Well, because, one, not that the screen size is a problem, but screen size is never that bad. You know? A little bit of a bigger screen. Sure. Why not?
Sure. Chuck it in.
It doesn't fit in your fucking pocket anyway, so...
Just make it bigger.
Just make it a little bit bigger. Second of all...
Is that a MacBook you've got in your bag? Nah, it's just my Switch.
What's that hanging from your ear? Oh, it's the clamped down MacBook on my earlobe. I use it as an earring.
Yeah, it does. It reads my mind and it opens up my emails automatically.
Sends emails to Steve Jobs. Anyway, so a little bit of a bigger Switch. Obviously, big screen. Cool. Alright, no worries. By doing that, you've also got a bigger case, which means more internal cooling. There was also a rumor floating around, and I think it was in the case of Ubi or Capcom. I can't remember which one.
Capsoft.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. That they want more RAM in the Switch, which could also be a possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Remodel. Having a bigger Switch in general doesn't just mean a bigger screen. It means better internal management. Better cooling, obviously, stuff like that. And then, if it's not fitting in your pocket, then the bigger model's not going to matter anyway.
Just I don't think it will be a bigger Switch. It depends which way Nintendo want to go. Whether they want to make the next model more aimed towards like younger gamers. Say something like the 2DS when they brought that out, they didn't try to make that a more premium 3DS. They tried to make that
something easy for kids to get their hands on.
Yeah, a cheaper model for parents to buy, for kids to chuck in their backpack.
I don't think that's possible with this yet.
Yeah, it depends if like this model we've got now, whether they want to make this cheaper and this will become the cheaper model for kids, and the next model will be a more premium model. Like it's sort of hard to know, but I don't think they'll make it bigger just for the fact that the Joy-Cons and that won't lock into place and be as well suited for the sides. I think it will be this. I think it'll be the same size. I think it'll be the same thickness even, because you can't make it thinner and have like the Joy-Cons fat and the Switch in the middle just thin. But I
mean that's the biggest thing, I guess, in the end, isn't it? Fitting it together with all the peripherals.
Yeah, they've got to make it suit the Joy-Cons and the dock still. So I think we'll see a similar size Switch. We will see the screen get larger with these bezels getting smaller, and I think probably look a bit sleeker. Probably have Yeah, probably just have better cooling, maybe a bit more RAM, like just small things like that. I don't think it would be a big thing. Something like the DS Lite, like you'll see like things change with the screen.
Look, we've seen weirder shit happen. I wouldn't be surprised if, I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way around fitting the peripherals.
Yeah, they might, yeah. But it just, with how well it all just locks together, I don't think they'll be changing that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe they'll just say, hey, fuck it, we've got new Joy-Cons too, buy them. You don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
I don't think they will. I think they'll keep the Joy-Cons the same. Because you can't just go, all right, bigger Switch, and you've got these like Joy-Cons on the side.
So what if there was like a new mold on the sides or something like that handled the Joy-Cons very similarly matter, and then they sort of just spread out to hold the Switch?
I mean, they could, but I think Nintendo are so proud of just the controllers that just come off. I don't think they'll want to.
I mean, they'd still do the same thing. It's just they'd have a bit of a mold on the side so that the original Joy-Cons could fit.
They could, like your case. That's what you're saying.
Yes, yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's possible.
It is possible.
Like I think just in the end, it's hard to predict what they're going to do because we've been saying, oh, what could they possibly innovate? And they've managed to find ways around that before with particular models, especially the DS. And
well, what would you like to see in a new Switch to make you buy it? Just
pretty much what I mentioned.
What you said. You want a bigger one?
If it's going to make the internal cooling and stuff a bit better, yeah, sure. Those things run hot.
Yeah, they do.
I haven't really. I know we've been through a summer already, but I'm not looking forward to like a couple years on when summer comes along and that Switch is getting a little bit old, and then hitting the summer with like the newest hottest game, and then it just like melting in my hands. Like I don't know how long.
It's not in your hands, but it's the problem. It's when it's in the dock. That's when it's going to melt.
It can melt in your hands with the right game.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just the problem of
what game was it melting in your hands before? Even playing Zelda, mine.
I played Zelda for 8 hours at a time, dude. Like that alone. That's when it starts to get hot. You're the type of person that's just like play an hour. Now I can put it on pause and go cook dinner. I'm the type of person that's just like I'll cook dinner at 6:30. Bam. You know what I mean? I've still got another 5 hours to play this Legend of Zelda.
Hey, when I was playing Zelda, I was literally putting it up. I was literally putting it up next to the stove. Not too close to the stove.
I know.
Not too close to the stove, obviously, but putting it up, playing the Joy-Cons just by my side. I've got to stir my stir-fry, stir it, go back to Zelda.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. But like, I just feel like, I don't know, when I get on the Switch, I know that it's like you can pause it, put it in sleep, buzz off. I don't do that a lot. I do like it for that reason.
But you just play all day.
Like, if I want to sit down and have a gaming session, I sit down and have a damn gaming session. Like, unless it's something I can put down really easily, or Fortnite or something like that. I was supposed to bring my Switch around so I could show you the dog thing too, but I forgot.
Oh, the dog thing. You should have shown me the dog thing.
The dog thing. You want a pet dog on your back?
I do want a pet dog on my back.
There you go. Something like that where I'm just like, I'm playing my Battle Royale game and I jump in and then I get 5 minutes and somebody hits me in the head with a rock. I don't know. And then I'm just like, cool, alright, well I'm dead. Fine, I'll put it in sleep and go do what I need to do. But if I'm sitting down playing Zelda or something like that, and that's the type of thing that I sink my teeth into and don't let go because I've got lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
That's just what I do with that. So I think there's, and obviously with the crack, I think everybody's got one infamous crack on their Switch somewhere. Don't lie to me.
It's always, everyone's got one in the same place too. It's just like near the power button.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that the heating's planned out. Have you ever seen a Switch opened up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that the heating's planned out. That's the other thing. Like, your bigger model of Switch, you can cover more of an area and stuff like that. If you could keep the internal guts relatively the same, but just maybe use a RAM chip with better capacity and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of things you could do with the Switch just to make the general upgrade, but the only thing that's going to help with the cooling ever is by having more of it in it. And if it's not going to fit in that, then they need to go up.
Yeah. I don't want it, like, personally, I don't want a bigger one. Maybe if they show me a bigger one, I'll go, ooh, I want that. I don't know.
I think you'll change your mind pretty quickly. I know I certainly did with the 3DS.
Oh, the 3DS was... The original one was way too small, though.
I get that. But I don't feel like I'd be completely averse to... Like, if... Okay. Take this in a stride, all right?
I'll take it in a stride, mate. Here we go.
Let's say they come out and they're like, here's the new Switch XL.
Ooh.
Here's more RAM.
I'll take 3.
Here's more RAM.
Make that 4.
Here's a lot better cooling. You'll only ever feel this thing heat up to a maximum of maybe 25 degrees.
25. How am I going to cook my fish on this thing if it only gets to 25 degrees?
Anyway. And not only that, but we've removed the bezels from the screen a little bit. So
good.
There's more of a screen.
Nice.
The screen is actually better quality.
Oh, delicious. Is it 1080p?
It is 1080p.
Oh.
And the only downside, my ladies and gentlemen, is that it's a bit bigger.
Oh.
So the Joy-Cons don't fit on the side perfectly.
Oh.
They're a bit off-center, but they still work the same as they've ever worked.
Can I get bigger Joy-Cons?
And then they're just like, no.
Oh, what?
They probably, like, that's the thing, is like, even if they do an upgrade, they probably, if they don't release bigger Joy-Cons with it, you'll get bigger Joy-Cons eventually. I feel like that's a given. I just feel like if that's the only downside, that your Joy-Cons don't fit right, like, they're off-center by a little bit, I don't think that's a turn-off.
Oh, dude, I can't have off-center Joy-Cons. Can't have that. I can't. Stop burping into the microphone.
I just don't. I think, like, I've been very picky in the past, especially with the DS systems as well, about what I invest my money into, even if it's a fucking substantial improvement like the new 3DS was. I still have not bought a new 3DS to this day.
I bought 2.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like with this Switch...
3
what?
New 3DSs.
Oh, I guess if you count the new 2DS, I was.
Oh well, you know what I mean.
They're different. I bought two new 2DSs.
There you go.
Because they had Pokemon stuff on them.
Exactly.
Delicious.
And you're going to be adverse to a bigger screen, but like,
I'm not
everything...
adverse to it. I just don't think they'll do it. And
I'm not going to disprove it straight away.
I think we'll end it here. I think they're going to get rid of these bezels. The screen is going to be bigger. The thing is going to be the same size. They're going to do whatever technical stuff inside to improve the cooling, so we're not getting the cracking and the warping, because you can't really have that. That's not a thing that should be happening. And hopefully just some upgrades, maybe a bit more RAM and a bit more horsepower.
I think
not much more, but
I think we will see. I think the issue with these things is their size. In the end, and it's not because I want a bigger screen. It's because this thing is fucking tiny, and there's no way around that when you get down to it. They can make the components smaller, but then they'd be using completely new hardware.
Well, they got a new Tegra X2 chip. Maybe that will run cooler if they could use something like that.
That might, but that's still going to be a massive internal upgrade that'll probably be on par of like going from a PS4 to a PS4 Pro. And then it's going to be a shit ton of money.
Yeah, see, I don't even mind. I don't mind like having a huge Switch upgrade.
No, I don't see the need for a huge Switch upgrade. I don't want to see this.
I want my Mario Party looking twice the graphic.
I really do not want to see this trend going into next console generation where everything has to have a Pro version.
You're definitely going to see it.
I don't want to see it.
It's the norm now. I hate to tell you.
The norm? I mean, it's happened for one generation.
Yeah, it's got.
We will see. We haven't been through multiple generations of it yet, but I swear to God, if it happens, I'm not going to be very happy about it. And if you're going to announce a Pro and you're going to announce a smaller edition console or whatever, fine, announce them together and then people can buy the Pro or people can buy the smaller edition, whatever. releasing the Pro and the One X like 4 years down the line. You're gonna have those consoles for another couple years before next generation comes out. You spend a shit ton of money just on Xbox this generation. A lot of people are like, "Oh, why'd you spend 1.5 grand on your PC there, Sonny?" By the time you bought multiple Xbox consoles or multiple PlayStation consoles, you've paid for a PC. And when you've paid for a PC, you can literally just be like...
I don't want to hear about your PC chatter.
Listen,
I don't want to hear your PC
Shut
chatter
up.
here, bros.
You go into next generation, you're like, I replaced one part for $500. There you go. Instead of buying a normal edition console and waiting 4 years for a fucking Pro console.
Exactly. You spend $500 on one part, and you spend $500 just going from the normal PlayStation to the PS4 Pro, where you trade in the original PlayStation and you get your money back, and it's only like a couple $100 upgrade.
You're not seeing my point here, are you?
I'm saying your point.
You're not seeing my point. It's just... It's the same reason, to bring it back to a Nintendo standpoint, it's the same fucking reason that I haven't bought a new 3DS. Because they're like, we're going to make exclusive games on it. That's horse shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking horse shit.
Especially the Super Nintendo games being exclusive to it.
You want to...
That's like, there's no reason for that. There's no power reason.
Prime example on the main systems, PUBG. You would not play that on a normal Xbox One because it won't run on the fucking thing, but it's not Xbox One exclusive, sure. You'll be running at 15 FPS. Buy an Xbox One X to play this game in perfect crisp quality like you want to be playing it. That's bullshit, and that shouldn't be happening.
But you know what isn't bullshit, Bryce? And it's completely fair? Super Mario Party. So just before
I knew this was going to be a segue.
Yeah, well, got to get you off the fucking PUBG. We're not talking PUBG at the House of Mario Bros.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, Jesus.
I was talking... It was a contextual thing. Move on.
So... Fuck no.
This is going to suck, this part.
So...
Here at the House of Mario, we have parties.
We do have parties. We have Super Mario parties.
Cool.
So Bryce and I sat down for about an hour to play a game of Super Mario Party on the what board? What was it called? The Fromp one. No, was it Fromps? Domino.
The Thwomp. Thwompadump. There you go. That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
I can't remember what the map is called. I'm sorry. I don't know. It has 3 words in it. It's Thwomp something.
So it's definitely Mario Party to start off with. And I think it's one of the better Mario Parties that's come out in the last...
It is probably the best Mario Party since Mario Party 4.
Mm. And this is the first Mario Party I've actually bought too, because since the GameCube games, there's been no other ones that have interested me, so I've never actually went out and bought them. But
no, yeah.
Mm.
Look, it cuts back the bullshit and it goes, here's Mario Party, and you move on with that, right?
Yeah.
So we only played an hour today because only one of us bought a copy, because I'm not totally convinced. I'm a little bit more convinced now, which is great. I'm glad that everything can be played with just one Joy-Con. Makes splitting up the controls easy.
We can only play with Joy-Cons, can't you?
Yeah, but I'm saying like you can have a set of Joy-Con that you got with your Switch. You buy a second set of Joy-Cons that's 4 players. And it's comfortable 4-player. It's not Mario Kart 4-player where everybody's playing on this tiny controller.
You're trying to drift on your bloody iPhone volume controls.
Exactly, yeah. It's comfortable because the game's centered around it. They're pretty simple and they're not like overly exertive on the button play or anything like that. Like the motion controls are there, they're present and stuff like that. And it's pretty good overall. So we only played. We got our 1 hour impression because we only played an hour today because unfortunately we don't have much more time than that. We played 1 10-round match of the party mode.
And it was good fun.
It was fun,
yeah.
But Jesus Christ, Mario Party bullshit.
Yeah, just typical Mario Party. Like you were going on about it. I'm like, I don't know. What did you expect? What did you?
Oh, like it was a mess from start to finish. In in both a good way and a bad way, right? So,
so basically, at the very start of the game, Wario, who was just a PC player,
he was the shit kicker of the entire match. For the first two moves out of 10, he didn't move.
He didn't move. Then he got like 1. Then the next time he got 1.
Yep.
And we were just laughing at him at the start. And we were playing. So I was playing as Yoshi. You were Rosalina, and there was a computer Daisy and a computer Wario. And at first,
hang on, let me just iterate this. First 5 turns, he only moved 6 spaces. There you go. There you go. That's all that needed to be said.
And Daisy, she went off. She went and got the first star. I went and got the second star. Daisy got the star after that.
The first 2 stars were stolen out from underneath me. I was literally a space away from them.
Then he triggered the bloody boulder that pushed you right back.
Yep. Anyway, move on.
Oh, and basically, Wario was having an awful time, and at the very end, he landed on a clover patch, which was like a lucky square, and he rolled and he stole
Daisy's star.
Daisy's ally.
Oh, ally, that's right, yeah.
Stole her ally, so she had a Koopa with her, and like it was at the very end, like literally turn 10.
Turn 10.
And we're like, oh, whatever, he stole Daisy's ally, whatever. And we get to the end ceremony, and it's like, all right, these are the 2 bonus stars. The one who's coming last, here you go, Wario. The one who had the most allies.
No, the one who moved the least.
Okay, yeah.
Here's Wario.
It was Wario.
He moved 6 spaces in 5 turns.
Then here's the one who brought the most allies, and he literally stole the very last...
An ally on the last turn.
Last turn of the very end
So
of the
he
game.
got that star.
And how did he get the other star? Oh, he was going that badly that he got
the hidden block card thing.
Hidden block card. So if he was lucky, he gets a star out of it. He got lucky.
He got lucky and got the star.
So he ends up...
He did not earn a single star that entire match.
And he won the game.
He won the game. He did not buy one. He hardly won any mini games.
He didn't even get close to one.
No, he never even got close. I won maybe 60 to 70% of them, the mini games. I had a whole stash, like 90 odd coins. I managed to snag one star in turn 9 and then steal a star in turn 9. Which was great. I had 2, and I was on par and in the runnings, like I deserved to be after winning all those mini games.
Yeah.
And then it was so friggin' surreal because it's like turn 7 or 8 or something like that, and Toad's just like, oh, let's ask the Thwomp who's gonna win the game, and he's just like, I have a hunch it's Wario. So Wario gets this card. He plays that card. He gets the star he has a chance for. And then he gets both the stars at the end of the thing. And the end of the thing, it was literally for the worst performing possible rewards. So the least moves, and what was the ally one?
Yes. Yeah, who had the most allies. Yeah. And he stole that literally at the very end.
He won. He won by a whole star.
I just think it's funny. I'm like, I just expected it. I didn't expect any less.
No. Look, I was peeved because I was performing so well, but getting undercut so hard. And then I finally made it on par, and then Wario, who was in last place for 8 out of 10 turns of the game. He didn't move any more than 6 spaces in the first turn, but somehow ended up placing first.
Well, haven't you heard of Tortoise and the Hare?
Don't make that joke here. This was not a Tortoise and the Hare moment. This was just bullshit. Because Wario cut himself short twice in the beginning because he decided, in case you're not caught up with it, every character has their own unique dice. So they all get sort of like their own special ability in that sense. His is he can roll high numbers or he loses coins. So he lost coins twice and then he rolled a 1. And that was the first move was on turn 3. He rolled a 5 after that, Wait. Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember what he rolled. Doesn't really matter.
Remember. But within the first 5 turns, he moved 6 spaces. So, it was bullshit. I after the match, I was just like, right now, I know I'm not playing 10-turn Mario Party games ever again.
Or do you reckon 20 turn would fix that?
20 to 30 turn, sure.
Nice, 2 hour.
I don't think I even got around half of that board in those 10 turns because I got sent back so much by bullshit.
Actually, didn't know.
No, I made it around half that board. That's it.
Daisy made it around twice though.
No, she didn't. She made it around once.
Oh,
she kept running herself in circles.
That's right. At the end,
she kept running herself in circles. So I only made it around half the board in 10 turns, and that's because I kept triggering traps and bullshit happening, and it wasn't a hell of a lot of fun. But I just feel like if you're gonna play a game of this Mario Party, it needs to be a minimum of 20 turns, because otherwise you don't really get to do much. And then like if you perform really well and you're doing really, really well at the game, then you have more of an opportunity to earn stars. Wario did nothing the entire game within that 10 turns, pretty much, and he won.
I love it so much. It's just so dumb.
Like, that's bull.
What did you think of the actual mini games?
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Just a classic Mario Party. Some just use the
Good
stick.
Mario Party, not bullshit Mario Party.
Yeah, some just use the stick. Some use the motion controls. I quite like how they use the Joy-Con.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just more akin to home Mario Party for me, which is Nintendo 64 and all that.
Yeah, sort of going back to...
I feel like maybe they stripped back some things a bit too much. It could be just me. I've only played the one round so far, but I feel like when you look at Mario Party, I know that, Bowser's an option. Like, he's a character option in this game and stuff like that, but landing on a Bowser square in Mario Party 64 games and stuff like that, it was such a big deal. You're like, oh shit, what's going to happen? It's like, oh, he's going to give me 1 million coins, and then he just like jumps up. You're like, oh, he didn't give me anything.
Yeah.
There was a bit of an element with Bowser in there. They replaced Bowser with Kamek kind of in here. I don't feel it grabs me the same way, maybe. But overall, like, at least it feels like Mario Party that I know now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
You're
know.
not riding in the car all together and just crap like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they were going with any of that, honestly. They kind of just... Mario Party went down a massive drain for ages, and like... I don't know what drove them so far into that pit that they just couldn't get out of it, and then up until now... Did Nintendo make summon a demon and make a soul sacrifice or something? Because most of the games that are coming out now are pretty decent.
They must have,
and
it must be the reason.
And I mean, it's bringing back some series that were kind of almost dust to time.
Mario Party is one of the biggest ones, which is almost out the window, really.
It's had 12, 13, maybe 14 games in the series now. That's a lot of games, and like probably about 50% of them were not played.
No. I'll just go on about a couple of the other modes I played.
Yeah,
we just played the classic Mario Party, but River Survival. So you're all together in a boat together, and you're trying to hit the balloons and dodge the terrain, and that in between you're playing mini games. And what I like about this is you're all working together, and the mini games also are basically you guys working together to try and get more time, so you can have enough time to get to the end.
Right.
I really liked it. I only played with CPU, so I didn't have like a heap of fun. I was just playing it to get the idea of what it was, but I liked it. I think it would be a fair bit of fun. Sort of, you got 4 people, and you're all sort of trying to work together to paddle this boat and not hit things. And Soundstage, it puts all the mini games as it makes them all to like a rhythm game.
Yep.
Which I really liked because I love rhythm games, and I think this would be a lot of fun as well playing. with 4 people as well. I think like a lot of the modes, I feel like it adds enough variety instead of just doing, if you don't feel like just doing the board games.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a chance yet to play online, but from what I've heard, it's pretty bare bones, I think.
Pretty bare bones.
Which is a shame too, because if you're paying for it, you sort of want it to be a bit up to scratch. But
look, I know that people really want like a online capable Mario Party. I'm just not sure it'll work really well. I feel like there's a bunch of games in Mario Party that are sort of Twitch reactive.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's 100% necessary. And also, disconnecting from an online session sucks, and it does happen, and it can completely ruin the game of Mario Party.
Yeah, like 40 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, just thinking of it from that perspective, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I
can see why they didn't, but it would be awesome to have just voice chat on and do 4
for real, yeah.
Because like a lot of these games, like people playing like Destiny 2 and that, like the game's just in the background. You're there to just talk to your mates.
Exactly.
And having Mario Party would be one of the most ideal things to do that, but
it'd ruin friendships.
It really would.
It's a friendship ruiner. It has that stigma around it. If that Wario was a real person, oh boy, I'd punch him in the arm.
Lucky it wasn't me.
It was just the biggest. Oh, it's bullshit. I don't need to say any more about that.
So that's your end statement. It's bullshit.
No, my initial thought summary is, look, it's a Mario Party that's returning true to form, and I really like that. However, I feel like 10-turn games in this Mario Party are not enough to determine an actual game. I feel like you need to play a minimum of 20.
We have to get some more people over and actually do a longer game.
Yeah, look, I agree with that too. I think having a room with 4 people and then playing a 2-hour Mario Party match or something like that, I think that's fine. I just don't think that 10 turns is enough for me. And it could be a lack of like what's placed on the map or where things are placed on the map, but it doesn't feel as plentiful as it was doing 10-turn games in older Mario Parties, which always seem to have something going on all the time.
Well, we'll figure it out over the years, I guess. We're going to be playing this game for a while yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario, episode 66. You can find me at iDruby. Where can they find you? On Twitter.
They can find me at Ivy Riven.
You can find the podcast at the House of Mario. As of today, we're actually on Spotify. So if you prefer to listen to your podcasts on Spotify, they've opened up the floodgates. Everyone's going in.
Open up the floodgates.
Yes. We are a part of the 8-Bit Collective. 10 podcasts, 22 podcasts come together to put some cool podcasts in your ear holes.
Podcasting.
And this week's Nintendo Jukebox is by the Replay Bros. And it is a Pokemon remix of Battle vs. Trainer.
Oh, cool.
Which is one of my favourite tracks from a video game. So, always love trainer battle music in Pokemon.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes. God, I am dying, falling asleep.
Yeah, well, it's been an hour and a half conversation. I'm going home.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week, and take care.
See you. Bye.